Last week we were continuing on with our EDC series. We discussed the second characteristic, which was compactability. We also added 2 pieces of gear to our growing EDC kit. The first was a 17-ounce stainless steel water bottle. The other was 60 feet of number 36 Bakelite. Now, I have nothing against paracord, I use it all the time, but for this kit I chose just to stick with Bakelite. However, if you really like paracord, I also added 2 paracord options to the video and the blog. Definitely recommend checking out the blog for that one because I went into more detail about them. At the end, we valued our pack. Currently it's sitting at about $40. And that leads us to this week. This week we'll be discussing the final and third characteristic. We'll also be adding our cover element to our growing EDC. We'll also be talking about the pack that we're going to use to put this kit in. Remember, if it's a kit, it needs a pack. And I'll also talk about how I came to this decision. At the end, we'll do a final tally and talk about the value of the kit, and I'll actually tell you how much I spent on it. So first, let's talk about that characteristic. The third and final characteristic is reusability. Reusability is very important to the gear in your EDC kit, as well as any other gear you use. Reusability gives you 2 distinct advantages in an EDC kit. Number 1, reusable items are going to be cost effective. In a world with emergency tents, emergency blankets, emergency and disposable ponchos, they're great items to have on hand in case something bad happens. However, once that's gone, so is the gear used or the item in question. For me, I would rather have a good, solid, strong quality item that I can use multiple times, even if I have to pay a higher price. And this isn't just with cover options. This actually goes to, comparing lighters to matches. A match is one and done. Even if they do cost, less than a penny. I would rather have a lighter. Saves up space. You can use it a bunch. And even when the flame won't come out, you can still usually cast sparks with it. Same for a ferro rod and same for my magnifying glass. Actually, if you think about it, a magnifying glass is literally the best reusable item in my kit because I'm using the power of the sun to start my fire. And let's hope that doesn't go out anytime soon. Second distinct advantage reusable items will give you is you can use them outside of an emergency. This kind of goes against stuff I've talked about with the EDC kit, saying that this is a survival kit, this is not a camping kit, this is a survival kit, it's not a camping kit. However, you're going to have this thing on you all day. You're going to have all these items with you on your person 24/7. So it would be foolish of you not to take advantage of that during your day-to-day routine. For instance, I always have a situation every day that involves a knife. Going a little bit further with your combustion kit, you may see somebody struggling to light their cigarette up, or maybe they can't find their cigarette lighter. There you go. For that, you can even go to a restaurant, and maybe you don't have trouble with the menu, but maybe somebody does. Give them your magnifying glass. Give them your magnifying glass to be able to read the menu a little bit better. And since we're talking about this combustion kit, we also have that limited 1 card in here. Open bottles, open cans, another cutting blade. Maybe the people you're with wouldn't really appreciate you popping out a pocket knife. Maybe they would freak them out. You say, oh, here, I just got this little cutting knife here. They'd probably be okay with that. You got a flathead screwdriver right here. You got you got various wrenches and stuff like that. Like I said, this will just be something to add to help you out throughout your day if you needed it. I would even go as far as to say, let's say you went to a friend's house and maybe they hadn't done dishes, or maybe they just hadn't done cups or something. If you have this bottle on you, you could just say, hey, don't worry about it. Just go in there, fill it up with whatever you got. Put you some water in there, put you, whatever you're drinking in here. I just use that. And maybe they won't worry about cleaning you a cup. Maybe they're going to offer you some dirty, nasty glass. At least you'll know how clean this is. And that leads us into our cover options. Our cover options are a lot just like that. These items are familiar to me, these items are compactable to me, and these items are reusable to me. And I'll show you those right now. So for our cover option, our main piece of gear is going to be this reusable poncho. I've had this one for probably about a year. But this thing is held up to a lot of rain, a lot of football games. But I still think it's got a lot of life left in it, and that's going to be the main component. I know it looks stupid just be wearing my hat while in a poncho, but I just don't feel good not having my hat on camera. But like you can see, my body's covered. The sides are still in good condition. And they still, cover a good amount of it. Now, a feature of this I really do like is the fact that this will actually open up in the sides and sort of turn it into a serape. If you don't know what that is, it's basically the poncho thing that Clint Eastwood used in every movie he ever made. But you can actually open it all the way up. The reason this is good is because then I believe I can take these ends here and tie these off and fly it like a tarp. And besides that, you know, the other thing is I could just wear it like this. You know, I can button up the sides, I can bring my arms in close and huddle up, and this will keep the rain and the cold from getting into me. This will help maintain and hold in that body heat so I'm not losing it. And yeah, I'm going to be pretty comfortable. You know, sit like this, it's still fall, it's midday, but I mean, I still feel warm. I don't feel any kind of breeze or cold or nothing like that. And if it is really bad, I could even drawstring this up and close off my face so I don't have to worry about losing the heat coming off of my head. Now this poncho alone is not enough for me in the way of cover. I really need a moisture barrier or something like that. So for that, I'm going to be using these black contractor bags. I used them in the 3-day kit for the same purpose, a moisture barrier. The thing I like about them are they're very big. I added 2, which is probably a little bit overkill, but in my head that's 1 can be used as a spare. And actually, besides being a moisture barrier, they'll have other purposes around camp. The thing I could do with them is I could take one, set up my shelter, and then I could actually take the other and fill it up with water, bring that back to my camp, and that will actually eliminate most of the problems with my 17-ounce water bottle. I'm not going to be burning energy going back and forth to collect water. The other thing I could do is stuff it full of leaves, make a browse bed. I can also get in it kind of like a sleeping bag. That would help hold my heat in as well. And finally, if I really wanted to, I could cut open the side and the other end, and I could fly it as another tarp if something happened to my poncho, if it got beyond the point in which it was doing its job. And then, you know, we talked about reusability, but we talked about reusability outside of a survival situation. And, you know, the poncho is pretty obvious. I could wear it every time it rains or something like that. But even these garbage bags, you know, if I have friends with me or something like that and they don't have a poncho and they need a poncho too, I could take the bags, cut a hole open for their face to go, you know, maybe cut open some holes for their hands. And there you go. I got 2 other ponchos for 2 other people who might be with me. And with that, we've completed all 5 of the C's, and we are officially done with our EDC kit. Now we just have to pack it. So I have done a lot of work trying to figure out what would be the best way to pack this. I originally wanted to use some type of backpack, but I kind of wanted to not be so bulky as a backpack. I was trying to avoid that. I was going to go down to a canvas drawstring bag, but I didn't like anything I looked there. They didn't really seem good and durable. From there, I kind of wanted to go into some sort of haversack or something like that, but I just couldn't find one or couldn't get a hold of one. However, I found a pack that fits all my gear. The pack itself is water resistant, pretty low key, a neutral color. You know, so I think it's a great option. We'll be storing all of our items in a fanny pack. Hold on. Don't leave it. Don't leave it. Hear me out, okay? I don't want to use a fanny pack. I know, but it does everything. It does everything you're asking. You know, look, it holds my knife and it holds my fire kit. They have their own little pouch in the front, so you know, quick, easy access. We talked about that. Make sure you get to the gear you need fastest. You know, I already have one of my trash bags in here, but look, water bottle, put that in there too. And the water bottle already has the cordage, so I don't have to worry about that. And then on top, that leaves me enough room for my other garbage bag. See, look. Now, while I'm rolling this up, I did look at other options besides the fanny pack. You know, obviously I could have went with something military or army style. They make something that's basically what I would call a tactical fanny pack. It cost me, you know, it would cost me 20, 40 bucks, you know. But for me, I'm trying to be cheap. I'm trying to be cost effective. You know, I've already spent all my money on my 3-day camp and my survivor gear. And, you know, look, this folds right up like that. We'll stick that on the top. And finally, this fanny pack actually has a very good advantage that I'm going to give it. once I make camp, once I set everything up and this is empty, I can actually use this to carry my stuff around. This is water resistant for the most part, so I can actually put my tinder in here. I could put kindling in here. You know, I could carry other stuff back and forth if I needed to. Let's say I felt like a patch of berries or something. I wanted to collect that resource. Maybe I felt, you know, some acorns or something like that. I wanted to carry that resource. Maybe I cut down some cattails and I wanted to keep the roots. Okay, so let's talk about the EDC kit. Let's value it out. Okay, so we were at 40 bucks. We added the cover and we also added the fanny pack. So the cover, or so the poncho and the 2 garbage bags. Poncho was $5. Each of the garbage bags were probably about $1. I think it comes with 10 is for the price of 10, so something like that. We'll say $7. And the fanny pack was $10. Fanny pack is the only piece of gear I actually bought because I had everything else. That was what I was already using. So for those of you who aren't keeping up with the numbers, we had 40 bucks. We spent 17 today. That gives us a grand total of about $57 for this kit. Now, remember, $57 valued, not spent. $10 spent, $47 collected, I guess you could say that way. But next week we'll be trying this kit out against this kit. We'll see who wins. I'm really excited to try that out, and I don't want you to miss out. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel, Backpack Bushcraft. Leave us a comment this time around. Tell me what you would have used instead of a fanny pack. Please, please tell me. I'm looking for other ideas. Also tell me if there's any gear I missed or if there's any replacements you would make. Let me know about that. If you want to keep up with me and know what I'm doing, you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter at BushCraft. And as always, you can check out my website where I post a blog every Sunday night, 10 p.m. EST at www.backpackbushcraft.com. Please leave those comments there as well. And guys, until next time, keep those fires burning. Put it in the log off for me.